Yeah, Rin, go ahead. We are live.
Okay. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our webinar on generative AI, which is tagged as moving beyond hype. And we are thrilled to have all of you over here and join us in this informative and yet insightful session. So we've been hearing a lot about generative AI recent days, and as we are entering into this era of transformative technologies, where we use generative AI, we are using it in multiple forms, such as generating compelling music and texts, right, and images. So the potential seems pretty vast, and it's not very wild to say, but generative AI could be an emerging game changer. However, amidst this hype surrounding this field, it's crucial to separate the fiction and fact, right? And that's what we are going to do here in this webinar. And we have two very esteemed guests who are going to talk us and drive us through this topic. So we have Mr. Manish Kumar, who is Chief Product Officer and co-founder at Atgeir Solutions, and we have Mr. Murari Ramu from Google. So together we are going to discuss and demystify this generative AI journey, and let's explore its practical applications and which will provide some valuable insights to business and professionals. So before we go ahead, I would want uh, Mr. Manish to talk about Atgeir and the work that they have been doing with data and generative AI field.
Hey, thanks, Arvind, and thanks for the introduction. To talk about Atgeir, I'll just quickly share my screen. Uh, I would not take much of the time on this, but at least to just give you an idea of
Am I audible?
what our company is. Yes, can you hear me now? Right? Yeah, yeah. So just to give you an idea of how our company
Hello,
is,
am I
how we
audible?
you are, Arvind. Yeah. So let me start sharing my screen and just put it over there. So at Gear Solutions, we three co-founders. We are three co-founders of Atgeir Solutions, Anand, Vikram, and me, and we have founded this company 2.5 years back. And with a lot of core values, we have built this company with a lot of core values. Of course, with experience and expertise in data cloud, delivery excellence is something that we carry from our previous experience as well. But we have specifically focused on quality, innovation, and cost effectiveness. While we are building this company, these are the core principles that we try to deliver it to our client so that we can unlock the true potential of the business. And we want to have the unifying power of data and cloud so that the true cost of ownership while unlocking a new business possibilities is done with Advia solutions. Now, these are some of the matrices that you see on my screen. So we have integrated 20 plus enterprise grade data cloud implementations, out of which 5 plus are mostly around advanced analytics, AI, ML. And along with the three co-founders, our core team, we carry more than 500 years of experience productionalizing the systems. We have done 15 plus data cloud migrations, and we have our expertise in 6 plus domain. And we also have developed a lot of reusable components, which will actually helps bring the cloud cost down, the development and delivery cost down for AdGear solutions implementations. With that, this is our service portfolio. So we are primarily focused on data engineering services, data lake implementations, data warehouse implementations, advanced analytics, Gen AI, AI, ML, product engineering services, and healthcare analytics is something that we are doing a lot of research and development with a lot of our healthcare partners, because this is something that we think is going to be more exploratory, more research oriented. And as a company, we believe that giving back to community, and that's how we thought like let's build something for healthcare. Let's try to focus some of our energy towards research and development of healthcare analytics. So these are the service portfolios. Now coming back to the topic of the day, generative AI. So if you really see the generative AI data engineering solutions that we are building with our client, mostly these are the five areas where we are doing it. Chat bots are something which we are doing it. Search is something that we are implementing for our client. Content generation is something that we are doing it. Associative reasoning, reasoning on unstructured data, reasoning on structured data, combine structured unstructured data, associative reasoning with the help of LLM and GenAI. We are implementing that for our clients. And the last is the domain adaptation. Now, a few of you call it as fine tuning as well, but we call it as domain adaptation, where we also provide our client fine tuning services for LLM based on the domain in which they are in. So, moving on, this is one of our first success story on GenAI. So I thought like it's good to bring it into our background of Atgeir Solutions journey. Is that this is the first GenAI technology that we have developed with Blinktrip, and this is the press release about that. And it is more about personalized travel experience with the GenAI technology, of course, along with the Google Cloud. And this is the case study. If any of you are interested, do reach out to us. We'll share these case study details with you so that you can understand how we have personalized the travel experience. And this was our very first use case that we have implemented on generative AI almost 8 months back. Now, what is our generative clientele right now? So these are the, of course, there are a lot of more than 20 plus customers that we have worked on or we are currently working on. But these are the few customers that are some of the prominent names that you would hear. And Google has been pioneering in supporting us in developing solutions for these clients. Aditya Birla Grasim, Tide, TransUnion, Tata AIG, Hindalco, Ashok Leyland, Maruti. These are the few projects that we have done. Now, these projects are either in the POC or in the pilot phase, and some of them work has started on productionalizing as well. So that's our clientele. And very specific to the GenAI, we talked about the solution verticals, but the use case examples that we have implemented. And the reason why we are showcasing this is so that one of the thing about is that how we are moving from hype to actually solving the business problems. So these use cases are actually the example of some of the business problems that we are solving. Like around the chat, we have developed a website bot, travel bot, HR bot. On the search side, we have done policy document search, integrated search. Now this integrated search is more about unified search on unstructured data, structured data, images and video all together. So this kind of solution with GenAI and Google Cloud AI ML, we are able to deliver such kind of integrated search as well. Another area is content generation, where we have done video content search, which is like a lot of media companies have a lot of videos available. They want to do frame by frame analytics on top of that. They want to enable search on those videos. So we have developed such content for them. Content generation is another thing, and few of them I'll showcase in the demo video as well later on. Associative reasoning, this is the interesting area because here a lot of prompt engineering is required. We have done it across sales data analytics, vehicle service analytics, underwriter copilot, call center speech to text based marketing analytics. And here a lot of insight generation has been done on both structured and unstructured data with different types of prompt engineering that we have done. Lastly, this is our solution landscape where our Google Cloud AI portfolio lies. Mostly around the Gen AI, generative AI, app builders, Vertex AI. We are very much well versed with the foundational models of text, chat, code, video, image, and Google Cloud infrastructure is something we are doing a lot of work. And based on that, we are developing a lot of generative AI and data solutions over Google Cloud. With that, I'll stop and I'll give control back to Arvind. Thank you.
Thanks for that detailed view towards the organization work and regarding the data and generative AI field. So, which brings me to the point, right? And I would want both of Manish and Murari's view towards it. So, we see that generative AI technologies has been advancing in recent months, right? And what sets them apart from the previous developments? So, it's been we see that there has been very frequent developments in the this generative AI world. So how are they? They are being used by businesses with the help of Google Cloud to drive real results.
Sure, maybe I will take the stab and then Manish can add it. Okay, so maybe as you said, right, and this is I think the right topic which we have, right, that there are multiple use cases which business are exploring towards, right, and I think last year it was more towards the experimentation, and this year business sees a lot of I see a lot of traction and a lot of attention towards business to explore and maybe adopt it into their use cases, right. Few of the use cases, as Manish said, right, is towards the summarization, content generation, etc., which are common. And it's not just the hype as of today, I would say, because there are multiple customers who are at least into the journey to take these solutions to the prod, right? Uh, Almost the POC and certain evaluation has been done, and now they are into the journey to take this forward to the production implementation, right? With Google Cloud Platform, right, what we offer is the enterprise scale, okay, the security, right, guardrails, governance, so that it is very important for the enterprise to protect their data and then try to take care of all the different aspects around the data security, privacy, and compliance. And with that, multiple use cases definitely who does not basically there are multiple restrictions towards the data governance compliance, but since we have put the right guardrails, right, security, privacy, governance, those aspects are also served and customers are now keen to take those use cases. This year definitely we'll see a lot of production type of use case which will be coming into the market now. Maybe Manish, if you want to add your point of view quickly.
Oh, thanks, Mohari. That's a great insight. The way I really see it, I mean, there are three ways I divide this entire journey. One is research, second is accessibility, and third is usability. Research on the generative AI has been going on for long, but Google Cloud and their technologies have made it accessible to the end users like us, enterprise users, so that they can actually. Google Cloud team and the other teams are doing research, but how do you make that available to the enterprises? That's where they have succeeded. Accessibility is one part of it, and third is the usability. Now enterprise is just not about using the LLMs, but the entire thing which Murari has talked about, like security guardrails. The cloud companies have to ensure that, and Google Cloud with the explainable AI and the responsible AI solutions, they are able to build that as well. So the way I see the journey is we have started from research. Now it is accessible to users, and the third one is the usability, where you can do it for enterprise with all the guardrails and everything in place.
Yeah, that makes very sense. So, a follow-up question to Murari. So, you just mentioned that last year was more of an experiment phase, and this is the phase where the actual development is going to start from the business side. So we see and we hear a lot of buzz around new models being launched into the market. Like for example, Google just announced Gemini, and then there is something called Gemini Pro. So how is Google using these different solutions offering in prototyping the generative AI solutions?
Cool. Yeah. Thanks, Arvind, for asking this question. So let me talk about the different portfolio which is offered by Google, including Gemini. Right. Gemini definitely something which everyone want to hear, right? But what you see over here is as part of what will say the different Google Cloud portfolio, right? uh, since we are talking about LLMs and the large language models, right? One of the very important thing which is important is the foundational infrastructure, right? And Google again never maybe what will say provide you with different compute option, so you can go ahead and based on to your use case, based on to your scalability, right? You can go ahead and select maybe the compute which is required for your use case. That is the foundational. On top of that, maybe I hope everybody is definitely aware about the platform which is called as Vertex AI, right? Vertex AI is something which is offered by Google as a AI platform where you can go ahead and use it for, maybe I would say it was already there. It's nothing with related to generative AI or LLM, but that platform was already there where you can go ahead and deploy your model, train your model, tune your model. Okay, you can create the feature stores and multiple more stuff with respect to the traditional AI. Coming up with maybe LLM, right? We have embedded all those LLM features within Vertex AI, and you will see few options within Vertex AI. The first of the option or the one services which we have added within Vertex AI is something called as the Model Garden. Model Garden is something like a bouquet of all the open source models which are provided by Google as a platform, right? Right now we are hosting 136 different type of model which consist of the first party model, which consist of, I would say, the Llama of the world, Cloud A, and there are multiple different models which are part of this model garden. So basically it gives you the multiple options, flexibility to go ahead and select the right LLM as per your choice, as per your use case, and then take it forward. What Google will provide you is compute in that case. The second layer which we provide, right? So the first layer which I talked about, the foundation, which is nothing but the compute. The second layer is the model garden, which is a bouquet of the open source first party and the partners model. And then the third bouquet, a third bucket which we provide is nothing but the platform, right? As part of that platform, we offer something called as the AI Studio, and under that we have multiple different first party model which are hosted within Google ecosystem. Those are basically, I would say, six foundational model which we have: text bison, code bison, chat bison, right? Then we have chirp as speech to text, image gen, and embedding. Recently we have come up with Gemini as a seventh foundational model. Gemini being one of the very powerful model because it supports the multi-modeling, multi-modality requirement where you can go ahead not only just the text, but you can feed your image and video and have a Q&A on top of that. Recently, you must have seen the announcement where we are talking about Gemini 1.5, which has the capability of taking 1 million tokens at a time, right? And then with what I'll say open source model which we recently have come up with Gemma, which is Gemma Gemma, right? Which is again powered by Gemini, right? So we Google is always promoter of open source, and that's where one of the LLM model which is Gemma is powered by Gemini and can definitely be used into your ecosystem. So just to give again a quick overview and perspective, we have the infrastructure, we have the open source model, we have the Google first party model, and we have something called as a no code platform like search and conversation, which definitely can be used for the business directly to feed their data and have a Q&A or a chat on top of that. We also had multiple different APIs like document API, discovery APIs, etc. What we are doing is we are powering all these APIs with respect to the LLM, so that maybe the additional feature can be taken care and benefited to the enterprise customer, right? So that's what we are onto the journey of, and definitely you'll see a lot of things coming up from Google around Gemini and couple of other models. Thank you, and we
Wow.
can move to the next question.
Yeah, that was very nicely explained. Thanks for that. So, based on like these multiple layers, like which you explained about the compute and the models being interacting with each other, and giving particular results to a client. So, if you look at the current trend, we see a lot of organizations there. They were doing POCs, or now they've started moving away from the POCs and uh, rather going into the development and actually pushing these small use cases into the production level. So can you shed some light on some of the most common use cases that you got to consult with the customers or you got to work with in the recent times? And that goes for both Manish and Rari, if you could share some information around that.
Yeah.
Sure, Manish, why don't you
So
quickly go ahead and then I will add in.
yeah, sure. Thanks, Murari. So I think Murari used the right term. Last year was the era of experimentation, and we have also helped a lot of our customers with the experimentation around POC and how LLM can be utilized. But now, this year and coming months as well, uh, enterprise are now getting themselves familiar with the LLM Gen AI use cases, and now they are moving towards generative use cases more. Like for example, one of the generative use cases that we have done with, in fact, one of the common generative use cases that we have done with our clients is chat on unstructured text, chat on structured text. But one of the key things that they also want to implement with that is chat with follow-ups. So they don't want to they want to have an interaction just like they are doing with the human. They want to do it something that they do with Bard, or Gemini now. So they want to have that kind of implementation done on their enterprise data. So that's where the I see a lot of enterprises are shifting towards, because I mean a lot of data is lying around in form of unstructured data, be it text, videos, or images. They want to do a lot of search on that, but search with actual answers, not just keyword search. And I think Gen AI is really helping them there, and we have a true experience with some of our big clients. The second one is report generation. So I'll give you an example. One of the use cases, if you have seen my previous PPT, we talked about underwriter copilot. Now, for one of our clients, we are talking about generating reports out of the property audit documents. Now, many of the insurance companies are actually using the property audit documents to validate whether this property should be insured or not. Now, they have to get few people just do that research, understand it, and it takes them for days depending upon which kind of property you are looking for. But with the help of generative AI, the text extraction and report generation features, you can do it in minutes. And there is a the end person would have to spend 10 to 20% time on each report just to validate it and making few edits and give it a go ahead on the property insurance kind of scenario. So that's another area where we are seeing a lot of clients moving towards that. So those are the few use cases I can think of. Murari, what do you think?
Yeah, so again, thanks, Manish, for adding it, right? So I would just add two more use cases other than Manish highlighted, right? One is very common is talk to your data, right? And then the data could be into the database, and that is one of the very common use case. We can call it as talk to your database or NLP Q&A or whatever, right? uh, Most of the customer already have a data huge set of data present into the database. Okay, and what they are looking forward is a NLP based functionality or features through which they can access that data rather than having a SQL knowledge. So that's where generative AI is playing a very crucial role by taking the questions which is a plain English and then trying to form a query and then running that query onto the database. One of the very important use case, one of the very powerful use case which generally I have seen. Other than that, multiple use cases towards marketing side of it, since generative AI, as the name suggests, generate, right? It has power to generate the new content, and something like image generation, content of email generation, some catalog generation, etc. could be there. These are the again few important use case which I see around onto the enterprise for marketing campaign. So just wanted to add these two use cases other than what Manish mentioned. But yeah, these are the, again very two powerful use cases which I have seen across. Over to you, Arvind.
Yeah, thanks for that. So, do we have any, kind of a POC or something which can be showcased around, the kind of work we have done over there? Manish.
Yeah. So we generally have created a workbench for our clients so that they can understand how and how GenAI use cases can be utilized. So I'll share my screen and let me know if the screen is visible. Arvind?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, good. So this is the workbench that we have created just as a demo instance so that our clients can understand what kind of use cases are possible with generative AI. And a few of the use cases we already talked about earlier. So one such use case is Ask BigQuery. So here again, asking question on structured data, we can do that. So this is something that we have done for our using our Looker e-commerce data set. So we have put the data into BigQuery, and we have just enabled text to SQL and natural language querying on top of that. So you just put a question over there like what are the top 10 countries with most products amount of products sold. So it gives you a return the data from big query SQL, and it also generates graphs for you. So you can look into the graphs. You can actually change the graphs just to have a kind of little bit of freedom for the analyst to talk to their structured data in a natural language form. So this is one example. The other example is, of course, you have seen it a lot: unstructured data Q&A, CSV data Q&A. One of the use cases that we mentioned is all about unified search. So I'll showcase you how that works. That is search on images, search on unstructured textual data, search on the BigQuery data. So this is the interface that we have developed. Which is a kind of unified search. So let's say this is a vehicular data that we have enabled search on that. So the question is asked like identify the models with the highest percentage decrease in production between July 2019 and July 2020. So first of all, it looks for the unstructured text answers, and it gives the answer from that, and it gives you these are the models with this much of decrease in percentage, and it also gives you the references with the page number. You can always go back, click on that PDF, look into that, and then it also looks into the analytics data stored in your BigQuery, and it searches for that based on the converting the natural language to that, and it gives you a result, and it explains that results for you as well, like the model with highest percentage decrease in production between July 19 and 2020 is Alto Espresso 1, and percentage decrease of 49.07%. So that's another example. Now, what about image kind of search if you want to do? So you can always do an image kind of search as well with the solutioning around GenAI plus traditional AIML technology, which Google provides. So let's say I search for name Narendra Modi. So it gives me the images related to the Narendra Modi. And of course, metadata search, text labeling, there are a lot of things that appears over here, and based on that it gives you the related images, and it gives you a text as well, and Narendra Modi's perspective about the automotive industry, since the data is more on the automotive data. So that's another example of I generally call it as an integrated search on all different types of data: video, images, structured, unstructured. So with the help of Gen AI, Vertex AI, Model Garden, and the LLMs that Murari mentioned, we are able to achieve these use cases for enterprises now. The another interesting use cases is Murari talked about content generation, like especially for the marketing team and all. So we did something for call center analytics as well, where we have a lot of call center data available, and what we needed to do over there is to extract certain information from the transcripts. So they have provided us with the recordings. Now with the chirp model speech to text APIs, we converted it to transcript into English language, English plus Hindi as a secondary language. And what we did on top of that is we have given that entire transcript to LLM. Now, what LLM did is LLM was able to convert those transcript into the based on the conversation person, like the call center representative and the other person, and then it was able to generate the summary of it as well. So you see, uh, with Google Speech to Text and Chirp APIs, we were able to convert this MP3 to a transcription, and then that transcription is represented by an LLM this way, like the customer representative, customer, all details have been put. Then finally, LLM summarizes the entire transcription. LLM gives the product name of which the talk is all about, and LLM gives the sentiments also. On top of that, we talked about report generation, text data extraction. LLM is used to get these data extracted, so that the marketing team, without listening to the entire audio and putting down these data points, they can just review these data points, and they can see like, okay, is this useful? Should we do some specialized marketing campaign for this kind of customer or not? So that's another prominent use case. In light of the other things, I'll quickly touch base on two use cases primarily. One is the bot that we mentioned. Now, this bot works with Dialogflow CX and GenAI. So let's say this is a travel bot, and I asked a travel bot like, I am traveling from Mumbai to Kolkata. Now, what does this bot do? First thing, it asks a clarifying question. Now, this is done with the help of GenAI, Dialogflow CX, intent identification. There are a lot of engineering that has gone into it. And based on that, it gives you a clarifying question. When are you traveling? I say today is 27th, 29th of Feb. So it goes back, it identifies the date, and it will fetch me the related information from the APIs, like the flight details, the temperature of the destination city, next 5 day temperature. It also asks like, what are your travel preferences when you want to, so that it can give us more personalized view of where I can visit and what are the some of the news of the destination city. So let's say I said that parks. Now what it is going to do, it is going to fetch the details about those and going to display that. So the whole idea, you see this, so it has given me all the parks and the roads in Kolkata, and then it has given me the related news as well, which is mostly on the local news of the destination city. So that's how you use traditional services, cloud services, traditional AI, and Gen AI to build the entire comprehensive solution. So this is one such example of that. One, yes, I'll since we talked about Gemini, I'll talk about Gemini as well. So Gemini is multimodal, we all know. Now, how can multimodal input can be utilized to generate content? Murari has talked about it. That's one of the prominent use cases. So here is the image which I am uploading. Now you see there are few boys with a hat in a jungle. Now I asked Gemini to explain me the picture. So what it does, I'll quickly share the architecture diagram. Here the entire front end and this entire thing gets loaded. And with the Gemini Pro Vision, we are able to, with the cloud storage, Gemini Pro Vision exposed via the cloud functions, we are able to generate the content for the uploaded image. You see it over here, like the image shows three young Boy Scouts in lush green forest with wearing khaki shirts and all. And then I say it, write me a story for the same image. So it has given me a story, like three friends were excited to explore the forest. Now it is able to look at the expressions and identify that, and they have been planning this trip for the weeks, and so the narrative goes on. So that's one of the powerful use case of Gemini, is to generate the content and see how, based on just the images, and even it is able to identify the expressions to some extent, and it is bringing that expression to generating the story as well in this. One quick thing also, I'll show the same capability on the uh, the videos as well. I'll not generate it for you because of the time and all. So here, this is one of the another example. This is the example of searching through the video and generating a content out of it. So here, what we have done is we have taken a lot of videos, we have stored it in the Google Cloud bucket, and what we have done on top of it is we have used the Cloud Video Intelligence API to do the frame-based data extraction on those videos. And then we have put a lot of content, we have collected a lot of metadata for those videos, and then we pass it to Gemini Pro Vision. We do a search. Once the search returns you the result, we pass it to Gemini Pro Vision so that we can generate the content on the video metadata. And then based on the selected content, we pass it to Gemini Pro model, not the Vision, the textual model, which is going to refine the content and generate the instructed task out of you. So here is an example where we have used the Pro Vision model as well, and Gemini Pro model as well. Now here, what I have done is, first thing I have searched like people talking on a garden dining table. So it is able to search for the dining table and it is able to find the people talking about that. It will give me the timeline where the exactly it is happening. You can play it and see what is happening around that. And then it gives you an instruction: select videos and choose what content you want to generate. So what I have done is I have selected that video and I have said that write me a story. Okay. And that is what it has generated for me. Like in the opulent dining room of the grand manor, a group of distinguished individuals gathered around the mahogany table, their laughter and chatter filling the air. Look at the way it is creating the content. Looking into the texture of the table and all, it is able to say that this is the mahogany table and all those things. So the whole point of showing this entire demo is for you to understand, like, there are a lot of opportunities that are there with LLMs. There are a lot of opportunities through which use cases can be realized, but we have to understand where all can it help and where all we need the additional technologies as well to bring the entire solution up. Yeah, thanks, Avid.
Thank you so much, Manish, for that detailed, walkthrough. So one of the questions, which keeps on coming whenever you implement such generative AI solutions is regarding the responsible AI part, right? And like, how can organizations ensure that responsible AI and robust security can be enabled while deploying these generative AI solutions in this technology, in this rapidly changing technological market? So, Murari, if you could,
Sure, sure.
talk about.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Arvind, again for asking this question. So, I briefly touched upon this point, talking about the safeguard, security, data governance, data privacy. But maybe let me start from a responsible AI principle point of view, right? Google have seven responsible AI principles embedded in any of this technology, right? Let it be generative AI or any AI platform side of it. We are very particular about the security, governance, and the data privacy, right? And hence, the generative AI foundational model, which I think we'll talk about, which Manish talked about, Gemini, Text Bison, and others. All these foundational models are stateless foundational models. When I say stateless, what does it mean is it does not have a capability to persist anything, right? Rather, what it will do is it will just work as a request and response and does not persist any data. Whenever you go ahead and hit models, right? Again, the data is in encrypted format, so there's no, what I'll say, you can go ahead and apply the different type of security key also, which is CMAX, CSEC, depending on your requirement. But basically, and if we talk about the fine tuning part also, right? So if we are going ahead and trying to do a fine tuning onto the foundational model, again, that the fine tuned model stays into your perimeter, into your GCP perimeter, so it's not going outside that. So there are multiple guardrails, VPC control, security, I would say, and which embedded with the responsible AI principle has been applied within the generative AI piece of it. Let it be foundational model, let it be open source model, let it be search and conversation, any of these services, you're going to get right governance, right security, and maybe rest assured that your data is your data. It is not being used for any of the retraining, fine tuning of LLM model. So that's definitely has been covered as a part of our privacy and governance policies within generative AI.
Yeah, thank you so much. And since we are nearing the time, I would also request if anybody has any, specific questions which they would want to ask, they could just ping it, and we can, ask the experts around here. One final question, which I would like to ask Manish is how do you think, generative AI can demonstrate some tangible financial benefits for the business, and what would be the, metrics or KPIs that can be used to measure this ROI for the ROI for the investments that are done in the generative AI part.
Yeah, that's a great question. That's most of our business leaders are always asking, like, how do I measure the success of the solutions that we are building? What are the business outcomes around that? So I'll quickly share a screen around that. Quickly, just to show like what it is all about, and then so that we can understand like uh, uh, like how the generative AI solutions are. So you're able to view my screen, right? Yeah. So I'm assuming a yes. So this is something which Gartner has published, and this we generally discuss with our clients as well if they talk about like how do we define the matrices. I think there are different verticals across which you should define your matrices around. One is around the customer success. Second is the cost efficiency. Third one is the business growth. And then there are financial matrices which are very much specific to the each business function. And then you this is the research which Gartner has done. But if you really see the matured AI organization, the people who have moved ahead with their AI investment in a very longer, I would say, they are there for more than 40 to 50% of journey in the AI. They look for customer success stories. Cost efficiencies are the two most important factors, while the others who are just starting out, of course customer success is important for them, but cost efficiency and business growth matrices are very much important for that. So a mature organization is looking for more of the customer success and cost efficiency, and the people who are just starting on the AI side of things, they are looking for business growth as their primary KPIs. So again, depending on company to company, how they are vested, how much they have invested on AI, the business models vary. But Gartner has done a wonderful research on showcasing how the industry is looking for different types of matrices: customer success, cost efficiency, business growth, and their financial metrics, very much specific to their business. I would say financial functions or their business functions. Over to
Yeah.
you, Arvind.
Yeah, thanks for that explanation. And I think we are nearing the closure time, and it was really great to talk to both of you regarding the generative AI part. And thanks for all the information that you have provided and all the details that you have given. So, to the viewers who are watching, if there are any specific questions, we can take it up. We still have 1 minute. Otherwise, we are good to go.
Well, I think
All
good.
right then.
So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Really
Yeah,
appreciate
thank
your
you.
time hearing us. What, do you have any
Thank
questions?
you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Sorry.
Manish. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.